Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Vincent.
So when you're buying a new house, you hear about the down payment, closing costs, taxes and fees, all of that. But there are other costs you definitely have to consider when it comes to buying a new house.
If you're new to our channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. We try to post videos every single Friday talking about our home buying journey to help you all out a little bit, make this process a little less stressful for you. And so at the start of our journey, we were not very aware of all the expenses and costs that we need to plan for prior to even moving into our house, and definitely after moving into our house. And so we're going to share some of those costs with you. And the first one starts with the waiting period. Before you even move out of wherever it is you're currently living, there's some costs that you might have to take into consideration. The first one is rent. We were renting inside of an apartment, a beautiful apartment, and our lease was coming up to an end. And so we had to make the decision on whether or not we were going to go month to month with our lease or whether we were going to leave and move in with family. And so in our last video, we shared the decision that we made. And so feel free to go check that video out. But that decision was a really high cost decision for us. And I think we made the good decision. So yeah, go check out our last video and figure out what we did. But rent is one of those costs that you really need to take into consideration. The next one is storage. And so if you decide to move out of wherever it is you're living for the duration of the build, you might have to put some of your belongings into a storage unit. And so you want to start that search process extremely early, because storage units get filled up very quickly, especially if you're moving in the summer. So go check that out. They're not too expensive, but you want to find the best deal for you, and there are always discounts available. So find the discount. And then the last thing that you want to consider during this waiting period is travel costs. And so if you live in another state, if you're moving out of state, or to another area for the duration of the build, you might have increased travel costs to come and visit the home if it's a new build, or to walk through the home if it's a resale. And so you want to take those costs into consideration, because everybody knows that gas is expensive right now. And my dream car is a Tesla, and I think I would be bragging a lot right now if I had a Tesla. So, hey, more people watch this video so that we can afford a Tesla one day. More people check out the video. Share the video, because I need a Tesla. Gas prices are high. All right. And so the next area where you're going to have some more expenses are your actual moving expenses. Now, some people think about this and like, yeah, I obviously have to put some money into moving, but you really want to plan for this, and you want to plan early. And so one of the first things is boxes and boxes and boxes and other packing supplies. They can add up very quickly. And so you want to look around, find the best place, the best price for you to get your packing materials. Home Depot has them, Lowe's has them. I'm sure you can find amazing boxes on Amazon. But what we did is we found a discount boxing supply company in the area where they had new boxes as well as some used boxes, but most of them were brand new boxes at a deeply discounted price. And if we wanted to, we could sell the boxes back to that same company. They had all the taping materials. They had all the fancy boxes for your clothes and for your wine glasses and all of that. And so we got enough boxes for our entire house for probably a little over $100-something. Whereas if we had gone to Home Depot, we probably would have paid closer to like $250 for the same amount of boxes. So be sure to check out where's the best place for you to get boxes in your community. And then the moving truck, that's a cost. One thing is, again, shop around, see who has the best prices. Hiring a moving company will always be more expensive than you renting the moving truck and then hiring a company to actually move your boxes into the truck. You drive the truck to the next place, and then having another company or that same company move your boxes out of the truck. If you ask them to do the whole thing, it's going to cost you double the amount. And so one place where we tend to find all of our movers when we've moved from place to place is through Amazon. I think it's called, not Amazon,
U-Haul.
through U-Haul. It's called, I think it's called like You Move or something like that, or Mover Helper, something along those lines, where you can go on to their website and it's a list of people who will load and unload your truck. One good tip from me to you, from us to you, is find a company that you think you're comfortable with and then reach out to them outside of that website. It will always be cheaper. Even if it's $10 cheaper, that's cheaper, right? So use it outside of their website because they have to pay a premium to even promote their services onto that website. So yeah, that's some moving tips there.
So next you want to think about your immediate expenses. As soon as you close and it's your first night staying in your house, there's some things you definitely want to get and set up as soon as you are ready to move in. And so the first thing is your appliances that don't come with the home. So typically that would be a refrigerator and your washer and dryer. A refrigerator is key. As soon as you can place that order, Especially now, we don't know how long things take to ship. Luckily, ours it took a while, but it didn't take as long as other people that we've seen, months and multiple weeks.
Yeah, I think our biggest challenge was just finding the type of refrigerator we wanted in stock. We got the last refrigerator in our entire area. And so we kind of lucked out because, you know, we didn't have to wait nearly as long to get it, but it was the last one. And so do that as soon as you can.
And check out our refrigerator video. We go through a tour of our fridge. We love our fridge so much.
It's
and
nice.
So, yeah, check that video out. And so besides your refrigerator, while you're waiting on your refrigerator, you'll have to pay for food that is non-perishable or is fast food because you don't have refrigeration. And so with us, that was another challenge while we were waiting on the fridge to come in. We were trying to plan it to where we only ate out once a day. And so having things you can make sandwiches out of, or things like breads and instant foods that you can do for breakfast and lunch, and then maybe going to get something outside of the home for dinner. So that way you're not constantly going out 3 times a day. But that can be a challenge because you have to eat it in one sitting if you don't want to have a bunch of food left over. And that was another part of our journey. Our trash cans, our outdoor trash cans weren't there for a while. And so we definitely didn't want to produce a lot of food trash. It was a whole situation. So that's why we love our fridge so much. And also your washer and dryer. We have a washer and dryer video too. But those machines are very important, obviously, to your day-to-day life. So you want to place that order as soon as you can. And while you're waiting on that, a cost you might incur is having to go to a laundromat, use a laundry service, because you won't have machines at home. So that's something else to think about. You might be going to get food, going to the laundromat. So those appliances are key. Also, setting up your security system. If that's something that's really important to you and that you want in your home, and in some cases your home might come with it, you just need to have them come and set it up. You want to make that appointment as soon as possible so you have the peace of mind that you have security. This is especially important for new builds because a lot of times you have people who are walking around, new homes that are being built. They think they can just walk through your front door, walk through your yard. So having security is key when you first move in. Next is pest control, my favorite. So you wanna set up your pest control appointment ASAP as well. They do sometimes have pest control come out when you get close to moving in, but there's no guarantee that they've been there. And typically it won't have been done by the time you move in. And so, especially with new homes too, they're brand new. There were critters and creatures living there before your house was built on it. So they're still kind of exploring and they might be around your home in various places. So set that appointment ASAP so they can come out as soon as possible, which also relates back to you having to eat out and buy food. If you don't have a secure place to store food, you definitely want to have pest control to help alleviate some of those concerns. Check out our 3-month video for more on that situation that we had. Next is activation. So besides your security system, things like your utilities, your cable, internet, all of that, you want to make those appointments. A lot of times somebody has to come out and turn a switch or switch something over for some of those services. So you want to call, find out who those companies are, and get them to come out or set up your online account as soon as possible. And also that helps with you keeping track of all your new bills that you're going to have, and just make sure you have everything in your name as soon as possible. And besides that, you want to purchase a couple of key things that are good for your safety and security in your new home. One is a pack of air filters. Buy them in a pack, especially if you're like our home is and you have these different zones, and you have a big HVAC unit, you need to change them very often. So go ahead and buy a bulk pack of air filters. Secondly, a fire extinguisher. That's an immediate purchase to have. You just never know what's going to happen. You have a lot of new things that are going on in your home, and you just want to have that there for peace of mind as well.
Yeah, and we're not talking about a huge fire extinguisher, right?
Yeah.
They make fire extinguishers specifically designed for kitchens inside of homes. And that's just something that some people don't always think about, but it really is important to have that nearby, just in case you're not as good of a cook as Lisa is. Like, you know, me, I may have, you know, exploded a thing or two in the microwave. So definitely get that fire extinguisher. All right. The last thing for you to be mindful of is some of these things after you move in that aren't necessarily immediate, but it is important for you to start budgeting and planning and saving for them. Furniture. A lot of times people, as soon as they move in, they want every single thing filled immediately. Take your time. It's okay. You don't have to fill every single space in your house with furniture. Take your time, figure out how you want to use the space, figure out how you want to live in the space, and then make your purchases. We've gone back and forth on certain things that we want in certain areas, and having the extra time to live in the house and really think about it and see how individual pieces come together has helped us not overbuy with things that probably wouldn't fit in the space had we, you know, taken the time that we take. HOA requirements. Yeah, HOAs, they're fun. They do an amazing job with making sure the community looks good, but sometimes they will hit you with a surprise rule that you weren't aware of. For example, we have to stain our fence in the backyard. And so that's an expense that we were not planning for, but just know that those are things that might pop up, and you want to go ahead and take care of those. Lawn equipment, my favorite. We will link down below the lawn equipment that we use or that I use, and so that you have access to that. But that's going to be an added expense for you. We're lucky enough to have a small yard, so we don't need a lot of equipment, but you are going to need some lawn equipment unless you decide to pay someone to come out and cut your yard, which that will be your expense instead. And then this is one thing that we didn't have to deal with when we moved into this home, but we did have to deal with it when we moved from DC to Georgia. And that is property taxes on your car. That was so new to us because we've never had to pay property taxes again on our car when we moved to a new state. And so when you move from one state to another state, you might end up having to pay property taxes on that car when you register the car in that state. Most states require you to get a new tag, get a new driver's license within 30 days of moving in. And so know that that can be an added expense. And depending on the type of car you have, it can be a pretty high expense. And so you want to keep that in mind and gather that information.
Thanks so much for watching this video. Let us know in the comments any other questions you have about moving in or what you should do as soon as you move in. Also, let us know in the comments what else you want us to cover on our channel. We took your suggestions and we are taking your suggestions. So we know that there are a lot of new home buyers out there, people considering a new home. And so we love to talk about our experience and just share the knowledge that we didn't have when we were first considering buying a new home. Please remember to like, share, and comment. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.
Peace.